Let's go.
Slow, time moves fast. In this dance we call the past. Mental health, a fragile thread, but we'll find strength. Let love spread. Life's a climb. Just take a step, rise above. Find your breath in the darkness. We will find a shining light to free our mind. To free our mind. Self-will bloom like petals bloom, shedding tears will heal the wounds and the chaos. Let's find peace, embrace the flame, let it release.
Relax your mind. It's divine time.
Hello. How y'all doing? You what?
I'm really
Nah, you good. So welcome to Divine Time Podcast, a space where we explore the depths of spiritual growth, life's most profound lessons, and the true purpose of love. I'm your host, Donley Divine. This is my wife, my partner, my wings, Jade. First of all, I want to go ahead and just go straight in and have everybody else say hello. Who would like to go first? Matter of fact, you say hi first.
Hi.
So, continuing. Go ahead. Let's explore the beauty of spiritual growth, the wisdom hidden in life's challenges, and the transformative power of love. With that, go ahead. Say who you are. Mr. Sigma Uno.
I'm Sigma Uno. I am a community person, supporter of my people, specifically support youth and young adults, mental health, entrepreneur. Okay.
Can you hear us?
I think, I was muted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You guys can hear anything I said? Okay. My name is Sigma Uno. I am a community person. I support my people, support specifically young adults with mental health issues. Been working in health for 10 plus years. And continually building up our communities in this state and around the world.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
who I am.
And with that, I'm gonna bring Impossible. How you doing, brother? Impossible.
Peace, brother. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me once again on your platform. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Impossible, Prince King God, poet, author, artist, mentor, philanthropist, one who's come back to take back what's mine.
All right. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and put Yudi up next.
You would put Judy up next. Hi, everybody. This is Judy. I'm the bee lady, shall I say. I've done so much in life until right now, I'm not doing nothing. Enjoying my moment, my moment of free time so I can regenerate and then hit it again. Thank you for having me on your show, and I look forward to today's topic.
Aww. We've got a lovely guest, Edwana.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Bless.
I am Edwana. I am the auntie of Mr. Ira, sister of Miss UD, and I am the unique one in
Family.
the family.
Oh, shucks.
Can we
Oh,
get a
Uh-oh.
do
drum
share.
roll?
Do
Can
tell.
we,
Do tell.
can we get a drum roll? We have
Uh-oh.
a
Here we
new
go.
Let's
guest. We have a
let's
new
let's
guest as
just leave
well.
it at that.
We
Oh
got a
yeah,
new
let's leave that
guest.
one.
Leave it
We got a new
there.
guest. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. And boom. Hello, Miss Quita. How you doing?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
That drum roll late.
Drum roll in the back. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's go.
Better late than never,
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Quita.
I am a mom of three. That was definitely the kid with the late drum roll. I am excited to be here. This is my first time being here. I do appreciate you for thinking of me and inviting me to discuss our topic tonight. Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, speaking of it, we're gonna go straight into it. Boom. What is wife material? Now we have had in the past, we started off with the men speaking, or we had the women speak on what is wife material. We had the men speak on what they feel is wife material. Now, with it, we have a bunch of different opinions because ultimately it is just an opinion on what that topic is. We also have talked about what is husband material. This right here is going to be the finale of this series when it comes down to materials of a relationship. I'm gonna stop saying I don't like that filler word. I'm probably gonna start saying blah. Oh no, what happened? My camera cut. So with it, what I'm going to do,
Allah.
I know, right? I said Bala, and the whole thing said and rejected.
Yeah. Probably because I'm sitting here. Honestly.
It's not because of you, babe.
Everything fell apart last time because I was sitting here.
No, I mean as awesome as it would be, not you. So we're gonna do this.
What's that?
Boom.
Oh, what are you using?
Yeah. All right, there we go.
So with
Well, I mean, I don't want to block you. Everybody wants to see your beautiful face. All right, so with it, what is wife material? We have not. So with it, I would love to hear. We've heard Mr. Sigma Uno, his opinion of wife material. I would love to hear what everybody else's opinion of wife material is. Like, what does wife material mean to you? Because that's something that people say, you hear from time to time, where some individuals are like, "Oh, this person is wife material," or some women are like, "Oh, I am wife material," and it's like, what does that even mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and go first, okay?
Just put me right on out there.
I mean,
Sure did.
you the newest one. Welcome to
I'm
the
glad it was
show.
you and not me.
I mean, honestly, with that question, I feel like it differs depending on the person.
Yes.
Because what works for you may not work for me. What works for the next person may not work for the person coming after them. I do think there are qualities that both men and women should possess in any type of ship, whether it be marriage, friendship, relationship, friendship, whatever. There are certain qualities that you should have that may not be what everybody else thinks. Like, I feel like a woman or a man should provide an environment where their partner feels safe and vulnerable to express themselves without judgment, without fear of them being attacked later for their emotions. But I don't think it's that person's responsibility to give them a safe space. I feel like it's their responsibility to provide an environment where they feel safe, if that makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
Go down.
Yudi, what does wife material mean to you?
What does it mean? I just had it and I heard a coyote. It just threw my
A coyote?
Yeah, coyotes in the backyard.
You gotta give
Woo.
Prince.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, you ready to get your dog in the house?
Prince in the house.
Look, that dog got more sense than y'all would think. A homie will not go across a line when he hear them
Prince
things.
will be a snack.
No, right?
Outside.
What is wife material? Now
What
you're
does
not saying
wife
a mother, just
material
a wife,
mean
right?
to you? What does wife material
Okay.
mean to you?
Wife material means being someone who knows themselves, someone who
Mm.
is grounded in themselves, someone not a selfish person. Wife material is a selfless person. You think more of you think of others before you think of yourself, and not denying yourself, but knowing who you are, your strength, your capabilities, your weaknesses. Um, Someone that will be there with you or with her man when things go wrong, be it the loss of a loved one, a sibling, a parent, loss of a job, loss of a friend. During those times, being there when they're down and there for comfort. um Wife material is uh being able to keep them lifted up um during those times. That's a really tough one, because this quid pro quo thing now, where you do, I do, you don't do, I don't do. Um, that's not a good relationship overall. So I'm speaking of a positive relationship where both man and woman is on the same accord. But it's really hard because I'm not a man. I don't know what a man is looking for, but I know what me as a woman should be, or me as a wife should be. If
And
that makes
that's
any sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and that's the reason why we're doing the open discussion with men and women, because men may some men feel one way, and then you have women who may feel a different way, and that's the reason why I want to have men and women connect on this finale of this series, because we all had our own men had an idea of what husband material was, and women had an idea of what husband material was, and vice versa. So with it, for us to really come to an understanding of what the opposite sex is looking for or feels, we have to be able to talk to them. And one of the issues is, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna go into Mr. Sigma Uno and Impossible for this topic. One of the issues that I've noticed is a lot of individuals, a lot of relationships and couples do not discuss this, what they feel is husband material, what they feel is wife material, and it causes issues later on down the line in the relationship. With that, I want to flow into Mr. Impossible. What do you feel is what does wife material mean to you?
Don't mean nothing to me because it depends on the because it really depends on the archetype. You know what I mean? So let when I say archetype, that woman is going to be what she identifies with, understand what psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, she's going to move in that manner. So whether she has good material or not, I don't know, because I don't know what type of material it is. It can be some cheap ass material, and you looking for some good fashion, some good silk. You ain't got no silk. You got some damn dirt. You got some clay.
Mhm.
The material thing, well, it's difficult to say wife material because the very thing of husband and wife, that whole identity is European. So we actually dealing with this from a European perspective. I don't know what wife material is. I know what the principles of a woman and what her stature and what she brings, what her essence is, what she brings to the table. If she got a messed up essence and she got a messed up vision and she's out of sync with herself, then that material cannot be any good. You cannot qualify that as good material. The same thing goes for a man. So it depends on what type of material you got. I don't know what's wife material because some people like cheap ass material. That's what they like.
Polyester.
Some people like,
I was
Got
just
that
about to say
go ahead.
polyester.
that.
Yeah, some
Got that
people just
polyester.
love things. Yeah, they love cheap material.
Flammable.
So
Highly
they may
flammable.
be highly flammable. So it just means you may have you may have wife material of a low stature. It does not mean that material is no good. It just means that material is no good. It ain't gonna be used for nothing. Because after a
Can I
certain
say
while of
something?
material, you can go ahead say something.
It sounds like what you're talking about is the character of an individual, and what he or she is accustomed to being or what he or she may like.
Exactly.
And
Is that what
that's
you're saying?
true. Some
Exactly.
folks love some
Exactly.
polyester. Some folks love it,
Exactly.
live by it, gotta have it.
And
It's
that's
the
what
They
idea.
do.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say. It depends on the individual that's looking for a wife. It depends on
What
yeah.
what
type
they
of wife?
want. Because
Yeah.
one person may be
Exactly.
looking for a wife that stays at home and cook and clean and do all of that, but then the other person may be looking for a wife that likes to go hang out and party.
There you go. Can we go out
Exactly.
together
Okay.
as a husband and wife? You know?
Okay. All right. So the answer to that question is, what do you say? What is wife material?
I don't
What
know.
does
Wife
white
So how do you?
material
material is
mean
what
to
that
you?
person is looking for.
Hmm. You got different material. I mean, we choose our clothes based upon the material. Some people cannot wear certain material unless it'll break them out
Hmm.
because the
Make them itch.
material is made so cheap. So it just no, it don't feel good on their skin. Certain material right now carry chemicals inside them that actually poisoning us right now based on the clothes that we're wearing. It's the material. So you can have white material that can be poisoning, good
Yep.
material, but it's killing you.
That's what you
That
want
This
in
part.
life.
material thing,
Okay.
yeah, it
Yep.
just all depends on what you want. It all depends on what you want when it comes to the type of material that you're looking for.
Yep.
That's what's going to decide. That's going to be a decision, the type of material.
I
Because
love that comparison.
it's not a plain material. Like you're not gonna be able to do that.
Okay. So y'all remember Kmart? So
That's
Kmart
true.
had that hard
You know it.
fabric.
You know type.
Oh
That
yeah,
had
like I
sheets
said,
Okay,
that was a whole
so
polyester,
pound.
permanent
So
silk.
yeah,
that's too
yeah.
smooth. That
You
You
be
see
didn't.
that in
flying across your.
relationships. You see that in
I
Oh,
honestly believe it depends on what level you're at, though, because there are some people who are okay with marrying polyester.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's exactly the
yep.
point. That could be
And that's
okay because that's your material. There's
and
nothing
that is the
wrong with
reason
that.
why.
It's just
That's
your
why I asked the
material.
question: what does wife material mean to you? Because, like I stated in the beginning,
Hmm.
everybody has their own opinions. Now, with it, like I said, I was like, this is. I like to educate. We all like to learn. We all are seeking different things. We all have our own viewpoints, opinions, and ideologies. Now, with that, this is the reason why I asked this question, because there are some individuals where we all have heard about this toxic love that's going on right now. And with that, you have people getting in relationships with individuals that end up bringing them down rather than lifting them up. So,
Mm.
with that, I was like, you know what? I feel that this would be a good topic to discuss, to understand, like, okay, cool. If you're truly trying to grow together, you need to find someone that is on your level or either someone who's willing to grow with you, not someone that
Mm.
really is going to sit there and drag you down. Now, I mean, I understand when it comes to materials, you can't turn polyester into silk. But I mean, when it comes to an
Come
individual who's
on.
trying to grow and learn, you can help them with that.
But
Because
only
I,
if
I,
they're
I gotta,
willing to make the
I'm gonna say
effort
something,
Mm,
to
and I'm gonna be
change on
quiet
their
for the rest of this
own.
show.
mm,
go ahead.
mm,
Um, there's this thing called fake and phony.
Yes.
And fake and phony is
mm,
so devilish good until you don't know you got it until the day that you get married. I was
Mm-hmm.
a victim of that. I'm thinking
mm,
that I had a good man or whatever. Here I am pregnant. Yeah, I was pregnant and real pregnant. And I married this man, and the day that I meet his parents, which was mistake number one, I should have met them before I met him. I get water
mm,
thrown in my face. Now, all this time before then, you were a good man. You all this, that, and the other, just as fake and phony as I don't know what. But I have said I do, and that's when I found out all the lies that had been told,
Mm-hmm.
all the misconceptions. And here I am running around in Louis Vuitton, sleeping with a Kmart sheet, not knowing that, oh,
mm,
what you have is not what you think you have. So I
Mm.
think that the true thing right here is you got to know what you're getting into before you get into it. And the only way you're going to know what you're getting is to turn off that lust button and start looking for things that you don't like instead of looking for things that you like. Because I got to say this, the enemy know what you're looking for.
Yep.
And he's going to produce it to you. And once you get that, here comes that lust button. Oh, I'm so in love. But it's not love, it's lust. It is just straight out lust. You just want to fulfill the need of being loved and what you think love is, and really it's not that. And you get trapped up into something where it can ruin you for the rest of your life. So that's my thing on what you just said. You got to know what you're getting into. And just because it look good don't mean it's good.
Hello.
Just because it smell good don't mean it's good. You need to do some background checks. You need to know the family. You definitely need to know the family. You need to know about finances. What are your financial goals in life? It's a lot of things that no one has ever been truly taught that you ought to look into before saying I do. King James days are over. They've been over. Women are a lot of times now the breadwinner, but women are taking the rough end of the stick as well as the men. I gotta say it too. They're getting hit pretty bad too. But you got to know what you're getting into before you get into it. And the only way you're gonna do
Right.
that is turn off that lust button. Turn it off. Look with some real eyes. I'm done. I said I wasn't gonna say nothing for the rest of the time. Let's see if I can do it.
No, not.
Anybody got anything to add to that?
What can you add to that? There's nothing you can add to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
That was a
mean,
What you gonna
mouthful.
say?
I mean,
it was. It
Yeah.
was.
I
You
didn't want
came
to touch
through
that.
with a mic drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's when you sit down and you go to the next shit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. That's what I was trying to see if anybody else had anything that they want to add to it. So my question on there is, if there was anything that y'all could say to the boys and the men when it comes down to wife material or even looking for a partner, what would you say to them? What would you say to any of the boys or men listening right now?
I would say to the young man, adapt principles that add value into your life. I would say it again, adopt principles that would add value into your life. And that way the actions that you take will be more beneficial to you. If you do the right thing for you as a young man, then you will do it for someone else. If you love yourself, you will love someone else just as much. That thing about men don't feel, that's why we have so many men in mental health issues because they had denied their emotions for so long and suppressed them for so long that it caused problems in other areas of their life. I would say that any young man that's listening right now, if you hear me right now, love yourself, adopt principles that add value to your life. I cannot make that any plainer. If the way that you're living is not valuable to your life, change what you're doing. Adopt, adapt and adopt from others that are doing well in life. Model relationships that are doing well. Learn myths. Learn understanding of gods and goddesses and how they came together as one, as unified. We must get back to the place of knowing who we are from our culture. I would say to all men, know who you are, know where you came from. When it comes to relationships, that's a problem because culturally we don't identify properly when it comes to relationships. We have relationships identified by a Caucasian model, and that's not right. Because if we actually reverence women today, we wouldn't treat women the way that we have. We wouldn't do what we're doing right now. You couldn't be able to sleep with two and three and four different women if you reverence the woman.
Mm.
You just wouldn't be able to do it. So I would say to the young man, put principles that add value to your life. And I promise you, every action you take will be beneficial to yours and everyone around you. That's what I would say to the young man.
I just
Quita,
want to
you
say,
are. Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was like, Quita, you are up.
I just want to say, allow yourself the space to feel. Because I think a lot of times, because men don't allow themselves a space away from anyone else to feel, they don't know how to allow themselves space to feel with their spouse or significant other. So once you create that space for you to feel safe enough to feel, then you'll be able to do that with your partner. And your partner will in turn be able to support you and motivate you and encourage you and give you the things that you need as a man to succeed in this thing we call life.
Okay. Mr. Sigma Uno.
As far as what I believe, hey,
Okay.
as far as what I believe, um, life material is, there's a spiritual side to all of this, and 9 times out of 10, we omit the spiritual side to it. Period. There is a connection, based on what you suffered in the behaviors in your household that you grew up in. What happens is what the feelings that uh, your parents give, or the way they act. 9 times out of 10, you're going to look for a woman based on what you've learned or what you saw or what you've understood. Not saying it's the right thing at all. It's not the right thing when there's trouble in the household, or the people that are married don't know why they got married. So we talk about relationships or marriage. Do we really know exactly what that means? Or like Mr. Impossible said, this is an archetype built by the Wahite tribe. This doesn't work for us this way. We understand cultural differences, but we follow a culture based on the pressure of what they're saying this is what they're saying is supposed to be. It's not, everyone does not love and understand and feel the same way. I tell these young men, look into yourself. Find out for yourself what marriage means. Have a standard. If you have a standard and you love a person, you say you love and you want to be with the person, find out who the person is. Conversation. That's the only way to find out who the person is. And during the time that you're talking or courtship, you're learning who you are as well. You never stop learning who you are because you're always evolving. And that's what the person that you're going to be with should understand, and that's what you should understand about them. There's no cookie cutter way or cookie cutter archetype of a person that everyone should be with. There isn't.
Beauty.
So don't get caught up in just the feeling or the emotions about who you're looking at or who you see. Find out who the person is. Conversation. If you don't, then you're eventually going to meet resistance that you're not ready for. You need to be ready for everything, and the basis of being ready is conversation. Talk about it. Go back to it. Write it down. Record it. Whatever you have to do, because once you're there and once you're committed, there is a specific way the specific thing they want from you and a specific thing they want from them. If you don't voice it, you can you can guarantee that divorce is right around the corner. But what does that mean either? I mean, there's a meaning to all of this. That's why I'm telling you, look, I can't tell you specifically what to look for because I'm not you. Look. And if you're not ready for it, don't attempt. If your life is in shambles, don't try it. Don't try it because it's trauma bond. That's all it is. It's trauma bond. So don't do that. Um, but again, there's an archetype that's been put in front of us. There's this fast. The first thing that you do. I mean, think about the rite of passage, which we don't observe anymore at all. Period. There's a rite of passage for young men and a rite of passage for young women. We don't observe that. It's age based. So now I'm old enough I can go buy cigarettes. Now I can go in the club. Now I can go at a bar and drink. And then you have some men that there's some dads that try to hook their sons up with women so they'll know what women are like. You see what I'm saying? And it's not a genuine thing. It's we're throwing you to the wolves. You don't understand. You have no idea. You don't know if you're failing or succeeding because no one has ever explained in detail what all of this actually means. It means at the time that you find the person that you're wanting to be with, that you are in your heart you're committed, but in your mind you have no idea what the commitment is. Write it down. The standard is the most important part because if you have a standard and the person that you're attempting to be with has a standard as well, match standards. What do you have? Are you guys you have the same standard? It's called being equally yoked. So if you believe something that she doesn't, and you're battling before you get to the chapel, then 9 times out of 10, just be friends. Standard is important. Being equally yoked is important, and it's not just a term, or it's not just a religious term. It's an
Okay.
it's an important part of life. Equally yoked. Yes, nobody's mind is always the same as somebody else's mind, but can you coexist together and love each other? That's the question. But that's what I would say.
Okay. Edwana, what would you say to the men and boys listening?
Be honest. Be true to yourself.
That's it?
That is it. Honest.
That's a mouthful, ain't it?
All right.
I mean, for some people,
Being
yes.
honest
For
with
some
yourself.
people, that would be.
It's hard for a lot of people to be honest with self.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes.
That,
When
Yes.
that
you
right
honest
there,
with self, that
very
means
true.
you call yourself on your own foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
There
And
you
you'll
Yeah,
go.
hold yourself
You
to
accountability.
a high
hold
regard
yourself
too.
accountable for what you're doing as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for people to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that
And
causes
this,
a lot of problems in relationships, especially looking for, I'll say looking for a wife, or if you want to take it that way, that causes a lot of problems because you're not even true to yourself. So how can you
How
say
can you
you're
be
looking
true
for
with
a
anybody else?
wife? Say it again. I'm sorry.
How can you be honest with anybody else if you're not honest with yourself?
Exactly.
yeah. Same way as how can you love somebody else if you don't even love yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Sigma Uno, you there?
Don't believe the hype.
Okay.
Don't believe the hype. The video girl is a video girl that is not her in real life. Really real life.
Young
All
me
those
player,
people are
yelled I am
people.
here to cause problems.
And if you find
Oh
people
gosh.
like you go from the TV, again, they just perpetrating the role.
You're fading out, Mrs. Sigma Uno.
Yeah, can't even hear her.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Say hi to your daughter too, by the way. The other one.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
That's loud in my ear.
Yeah.
She on mute?
No.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yes.
We can hear you now.
All right. Bet.
Okay. Yeah. If that's what you're looking for, you are looking for somebody, you are looking for a fraud. You are perpetrating and looking for a fraud. And I say perpetrating and in perpetuity because that's what's going to continue to happen, and people are going to continue to play those roles until they're honest with themselves and say, I'm not that person. The reality of it is, if that's what you're finding and what you're looking for, the person can only hold up that facade for so long, which means now you've gotten into a relationship with a person that's not even really the person you thought you was in a relationship with. And the reality of it is you weren't really looking for that. You just thought it was the popular thing to have. So now you've got that arm candy or whatever that looks just like, I don't know, man. Just look.
I agree, Erica. That's the claps right there.
Don't look. Don't look. When the time is right, the opportunity will present itself. And you guys will be thick as thieves, and that relationship will develop into whatever it's supposed to develop into.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look for a wife, look for a friend, look for a partner. If you can't be a friend with this person for more than 5 years, you definitely can't live with them for more than 5 years. So don't do all the extra. Don't do all the extra because you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're wasting time, the person that you probably could have and should have been with probably passed you by watching y'all and y'all foolishness.
Pew.
We're not talking shots fired. That's the reality. That's the reality. That happened. In fact, there is no reason why me and Mr. should have been where we were over at least 20 of those years. Because somebody was looking at something that wasn't real. And in a relationship with something that wasn't real. So now you in a relationship with you in a fake relationship and your real relationship is out there. Your real relationship is out there.
Where was this relationship?
So situationships.
Jeremiah, please stop.
Your daughter is asking, where was this relationship advice when I was younger?
Not me, the other one.
Oh, you want to know where it was? Jesus. Again.
Jeremiah, I asked you to stop.
Problems, just so you know.
No, she ain't trying to start problems. That's a fact. And again, I'm looking at a bunch of people that are perpetrating a fraud. It's just that simple. Because the reality of the situation is I am the same exact person I was in 1993.
No
in fact, I'm 3 times the person I was in 1993. If you want to be completely and totally honest. Because, no, 1993, I was 83 pounds soaking wet. Same attitude, same personality, same vocabulary. In fact, I get to use more of my vocabulary now that I'm older because more people have looked at a thesaurus at this point in my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
interesting.
Don't perpetrate.
It's interesting you say that because I had to tell somebody that earlier this week. I was like, look, the person has to look within themselves and find out who they are because they're living a lie and been living a lie so long that their true self is starting to fight that. Now they're constantly having battles with themselves and the demon or whatever they have tried to become. They were perpetrating for so long. So now they're having a tussle between what they really are. And I mean,
she said, I'm friends with the monster inside of my head.
I mean, Jekyll and Hyde can go ahead and play, but it destroys others as well. Now, with it, that was everybody. We're gonna go into the next one. What would you say to any of the girls and women listening? I'm gonna start with you since you're already on screen. Oh, wait, hold on. Pause. Hold on. Swerve. I have to get the missus.
What I do?
What would you say to any men or boys listening about wife material? Well, if they're looking for a relationship,
find your match. And I mean that wholeheartedly. In every sense of find your match. Find what matches you. Because if you reach higher than that, then you're gonna feel some type of way. Reach lower if that's also gonna be a problem.
She said, "Let me upgrade you."
Not even that, because I ain't got time for that. We all grown.
What did K. Michelle say? If you can build a man, nah,
I will not.
I don't think anybody
wants to.
It's not build a bear. It don't work that way.
She said, "I'm like
your daughter is big. Your daughter on the internet."
She said, "Nobody can match me. I'm lighter fluid."
Girl, you are the propane draws. What you know about?
Highly flammable. Oh my goodness. All right, so rolling in since you're already on, what would you say to the girls and women listening?
Honestly, date multiples. Find out what you like for real in a relationship, and I'm gonna tell you that you're not gonna find it in just one person. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're gonna have to sift through some things to understand what you like and don't like in a relationship.
Dating nowadays is trash.
Dating is trash. But that's how you find them. How you supposed to find them if you don't even go looking? You
There's
can't find them.
tips in
They
the
don't.
dating pool.
It's not. They can't Amazon Prime you a man. I'm sorry. I wish that they could, but that's not how that works.
We can try.
Hello. No, I ain't want no woman from Amazon.
You need to find one on Amazon.
You gotta blow her up.
I can't mess with you.
But
Stop.
no, it is important. It is important because not everybody is going to treat you the same. Not
Mhm.
everybody's going to hold the same standard. So you need to date other people to find out what you like. Now, I ain't saying go around opening your legs for everybody. That's not what I'm saying. So you need to experience multiple kinds of courting styles to understand what it is that you enjoy and you don't enjoy, to create the boundaries for yourself.
Young Bee by Erica yelled #build a wife.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, she always comments extra stuff when I'm talking.
She always is. Quita, what would you say to the girls and women listening? Erica, I'm not dealing with you tonight.
I would agree wholeheartedly with the wife.
What she said?
Yes, because I think that a lot of women don't truly understand what dating is. So they miss out on that opportunity of finding what they truly enjoy as a woman in that type of ship. Because I don't care for titles. So we on the ship.
I'm gonna take a trip.
So I definitely agree. You definitely need to date, but you also need to date responsibly
Mm-hmm.
and not just give everybody who gives you a second look the opportunity to date you, because not everybody is deserving of your time.
I like the
So you
fact
do
that
need to have
both said
discernment.
dating. I like the fact that y'all both brought up dating because in this day and age, it doesn't seem like people really date anymore. Well, correction. I think it was last
They
week.
don't. They go out and then smash, and now we in a relationship.
Yeah, last week when the women were speaking, we end up actually briefly end up discussing about the different types of relationships and what it means to date, to court, when you are in a relationship, all that. Because in this day and age, it's exactly how you said. People go out and they want to test drive to figure out if they even want it or not. And it's like a lot of the stuff is based off of if the coitus was good. Like, and it's a backwards way of trying to get into anything.
I agree, because you cannot build a future off of sex. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It can be the greatest you ever had in your life, but it's not going to build a foundation. It's not going to take care of you when you get sick. It's not going to be a responsible parent for your children. It's not going to be a provider for your household. It's not going to go to work and take care of the house like they're supposed to. It's just going to be great sex, and then now you still stressed out because rent's due and ain't nobody went to work, and the kids is running amok because ain't nobody took the time to parent the kid. They just wanted to be friends with the kid and leave me alone. The house is a mess because ain't nobody took the time to clean the house, and everybody is living off of Cheetos and hot dogs because ain't nobody took the time to go grocery shopping. You have
Living la
to
vida
find
loca.
somebody, all over the place. You have to get to know a person to see if they're even worth building a future with before you go and jump on the ship and start sailing. Because listen, I can't swim. So we can't get out in the middle of the sea and you don't know where you going. I'm trying to figure out where we gonna go because you done got us out here and now we don't know where we going. I can't do it. I can't do it. I need to know where we
Can
going.
I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question? In this dating time, how long should one date before they decide if they want to be in a particular relationship, and how many people are they dating, and does emotion get involved when
Hold on.
you're
Let me
dating?
write this down. There's a lot of ands to this.
Right, because I
Hell
need to
yeah.
get my pen and paper real quick because what we said.
Well,
Let's do
well,
one at a
how
time. Let's
long?
ask the and
What's
first.
the no? Put it all together because it's all one thing. What's the time frame
Mm-hmm.
when you say you're courting? You say you're going to court multiple people, okay?
Uh,
And you, if I'm courting
Ooh,
multiple people, where does the emotion lie in
Date for 10 years.
Good Lord.
ooh, no,
God
Lord, no,
dang.
no,
Yeah,
no,
nah, that's
Lord,
too long. Listen, if
mm-mm,
we got
no,
that?
if we gotta take 10 years
no,
for
Date
this
for
ma'am,
thing,
10
that's too long.
date for 10 years.
no,
Bro,
ma'am,
you
no,
just said
ma'am,
minimum
Date
4 days.
date multiple
no,
date
ma'am.
He
multiple
said,
people.
Oh, minimum 4 dates. My bad. Excusez moi.
Date multiple people and
Mm,
keep the emotion out of it.
For 10
What?
mm-mm.
years,
No,
I'm
ma'am,
She's
kidding. I'm
joking.
no,
that's not
kidding.
gonna
ma'am,
work for me.
I'm
no,
"Hey,
kidding.
ma'am,
y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead, man.
no,
If
ma'am.
anybody date for 10 years, they need to be hit over the head for real.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm.
No.
So
I don't
it
know.
depends on your purpose for dating. If you are dating with
Okay.
purpose, if you have reached the point in your life where you are a solid individual and you are ready to
Yeah.
add on to yourself, right? Then you're dating with purpose, right? So, how many interviews do you typically go on for a job?
Two.
Oh,
Two at
Okay.
most.
So, two at
Yeah.
least. Okay. So,
Yeah.
are you asking the right questions, right?
That's
Are
what I
you
meant.
putting people in the right environment to ask these questions, right?
Mm.
We're not talking
Mm.
about we going to the movies. Going to the movies should not even be a date because there are no true interactions happening at the movie theater.
Hell no.
There is no reason why
but
you need to be in
Okay.
a dark room with anybody that you just met. I'm not saying that you're going to get into some foolishness. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can't vet anything in a movie theater. I don't
but you,
care
but you
how
know what
You're
you
loud
right.
he
can't.
eats his popcorn. I don't care if she chewed her. Look, that's trivial stuff. Okay, you can find that
But
out later on down the line because if none of the important items are being met, it doesn't matter how she chew gum because she doesn't have any of the qualities that you need. She might have a great exterior, but if her interior is garbage, it's gonna start smelling. Doesn't matter how cute it is.
hey, can I say something? I said I was gonna be quiet.
Hold on, real quick. We gotta pause real quick because we gotta give a shout out to the commercial. And with that, I'm gonna have Mr. Impossible give that commercial.
What? What commercial?
Ooh, it's you.
Talk that crap. Join me on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Talk that crap. We just in the metaphysical, psychological, evolutionary way. We are innovative in what we approach, how it is, and know that you are God, King, and reign right now, and Goddess. This is your time. This is your time to take your rightful place. Queens, goddesses, we are here to support you.
All right.
All right.
Now that's a
So
pause
we're
for
back
your ass.
to
Shut me up.
Hey, I give you a shout out. I give you a shout out every episode. Around the middle time, I always pause. Always pause.
I wasn't ready.
He does.
I
No,
wasn't
you
ready.
weren't.
So
I was just like, oh, this perfect time. You was just about to take a wig of your wine.
Right.
see. So I
Oh, can
mean,
I say something? Oh,
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
go ahead. You know, I like Toodles. I like what you're saying, and that's true. But another aspect on that is when you are taking someone to a movie or you're going to dinner with them, when you're socializing in public with them, you really get to see how they treat other people. And how they treat other people is probably
Oh
how
yeah.
they will eventually treat you.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
Very
Had an
true.
old I had an older lady to tell me two things that I never forget. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And when you're dating, watch how he treat the waitress. Make sure you go to dinner and watch how he treat the waitress. If
Oh, most
he's
definitely.
demanding, rude, and da 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 with her, he's gonna be that way with you. And I have seen it numerous times, not in my own marriage, but in the marriages or relationships with other people. Very demanding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. The fork is dirty. Take this back. The glass is dirty. Get your tail up and go wash it. You know that goes to what the
Right.
problem is.
Yeah.
But you can learn a lot how they treat other people. Him or her. I won't just
I agree, but I have all male siblings. I don't have any sisters, so
Mhm.
I see the other side of the coin from the guy's perspective. I see all of that. To be truthful and honest, just watching my siblings date, court, in transition in between there. Some of the girls that have the perfect packages are everything that you think they are when they introduce themselves to you, where you interact, wherever you met, are not worth anything more than a cup of coffee. Okay. So I'm saying start. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to be nice. You can at least take them to Starbucks, the $4 or $5 cup of coffee, Don't ask how much mine costs because mine is not a $4 cup of coffee. But start someplace small. Start, I don't know, go to, you don't get a $5 footlong anymore. I was going to say go to Subway and have a picnic in a park somewhere, but you'd be better off going to Starbucks because Subway got more expensive than Starbucks all of a sudden. But start something simple. Don't make major investments before you know what you're investing into. Because if you start with a $400 dinner, then that's what you're starting with. Okay. Start with a cup of coffee. Work your way up to making a more sizable investment, right? Because if you are pouring a $400 dinner into somebody that is perfect and pristine on the outside and rotten on the inside, all you're going to smell is the perfume.
And the woman shouldn't be paying anyway.
Say that again.
Women should not be paying.
I agree and I don't agree at the same time.
In the beginning, if you're truly courted and truly understanding courtship, men are treating women.
I agree with that. We're talking about dating.
If you have a different arrangement and you go Dutch, then you go Dutch. But that's a choice and that's a conversation between you and the person. I was raised that women don't pay. Men do. If I'm asking you to dinner, then I pay. There's no surprise at the end, or I can't pay for it. Can you take the bill? I mean, that may be a test for some people. That's not a test for me.
I agree, but I just saw a thing on Facebook where the woman ordered 6 different meals. 6 different meals on a date with this man. And expected him to pay for all 6.
That is not wife material.
I mean, in this day and age, a lot of
that is again, if you'd have took her out to coffee and they'd have got her coffee wrong, then she could have traded that bad boy in and got a different cup of coffee, right? But she done ordered meals to feed 6. She done ordered meals for the whole household. You ain't even met or know anything about her yet, and you done bought meals for the kids and grandma and everything. No.
And I understand that scenario. But that's a lesson for that person. That's a lesson for the man as well. I mean, in this world, I've made some mistakes because that's what I do. I am a winer and diner. If we're saying, hey, we're dating and I'm trying to get to know you, then let's go. Let's do this. And you learn something about the person. And not the first date isn't somewhere high end. Of course it isn't. But at the same time, it's somewhere where you all can sit down and have a conversation. For me, it's a coffee shop. And if you're afraid to talk, you don't want to sit there and have a conversation, that's a sign for me that, hey, this relationship is not really going to go anywhere because this person does not like to communicate. Look, communication in relationships or a potential relationship is everything because you have to know who you're dealing with. You have to know that. If you don't know, then you're fighting a losing battle. Because if you commit to someone that won't have a conversation with you, won't talk to you, and won't open up, then you're in the blinds. There's nothing about this person that you know. but you're going to move forward anyway to marry this person or to be in a significant relationship and hope that later on she'll open up. I've been there too, hoping that later on she'll open up. And maybe I should give her the benefit of the doubt. That was the worst relationship I'd ever been in,
Mm.
because when she finally did open up, it was all about things that happened to her, and she did not see me at all, period. She didn't see
I'm,
me. And
I'm gonna add
I
something.
set myself up for that because I didn't demand for her to see me, and I was okay with her being shut down. That was my mistake. Um, but other than that, yeah, I was raised a little bit differently. I was raised in this sense of being honorable to women, opening doors, moving chairs. All this stuff is what I was raised to be. I was raised by women, majority of them. Yeah, I was raised majority of by women, and I learned some lessons. I learned what being honorable and being respectful to women is. I watched the decline of relationships between my cousins and the people that they were with before I even begin to date. Um, and then when I started, made the mistake of being all in. First friendship or dates, being all in. That raised a red flag because when you are in trouble, or you do go through some times that you don't have. She doesn't have your back. She's going to go and be with somebody else. That means she's not decisive, or her decision is based on someone that has something versus being wanting to be in a relationship with a person or understand the person. Um, I say this to young ladies: know yourself. Know yourself, because it's easy to be swayed into becoming something else because you love the person.
Mhm.
You need to be strong in who you are. You need to be settled in your mind about what you want, and know that when it's not working out and you don't like it, move on. Don't waste any time. Move forward. Because if you don't move forward, you're just prolonging the inevitable, and 1,001 things that happen in a relationship before you decide to leave, especially when you don't know the person. Know the person, find out who the person is, talk, and know yourself strong enough to where you have an energy that's going to attract the person that is who you actually want. Who you actually want.
Excuse me, Mr. Sigmuno. I agree completely with what you're saying. I've also
Hmm.
noticed a couple years back when I was in the dating scene, I
Hmm.
actually had met a woman who actually said this, that she would go out on dates with men knowing that they would pay, and she would end up having a different date every day for free meals. Believe it or not, in this day and age, there are a lot of women who will literally take advantage of men who are like that. And I feel like that's
Right.
the reason why a lot of people started going Dutch, being like, okay, we can go
Right.
Dutch. So that way they're not getting used. Because
Right.
again, if you're going out from the first date, you're paying for their meal when they might already know in their head that they don't even want to be with you, but it's just they're going for free stuff or for a free time or something to put on their social media to make it seem like they're having a good time or doing something extravagant on somebody else's dime. I'm like, the way that
You
the
didn't.
world now is very, would malicious be the word I want to say?
It is.
It's weird.
It is malicious. And I get it. And
Vindictive.
this is the thing though. I've been in those type of situations where I literally knew when it happens more than once, you know what you're dealing with. So
That part.
the hammer falls, the hammer
Exactly.
falls. We're done. We walk away, and then months or years later, you get a call. I remember when we did this. You want to meet? I know I don't want to meet up with. You've
Yeah,
gone through
nah,
some bad relationships now, and now you're seeing the person that actually did care and
exactly.
put some time and effort into dating you. That's sad,
Mhm.
but eventually it'll cross their mind that that's the person that they should have considered being with versus using. It's all it's all a game when it comes to dating. It's all a game for some people, and for some it's I don't really know how to, so I'm going to fade back. And then the first person that notices you or speaks kindly about you, you don't know yourself as much, so you're loving the attention of him saying how you look and how you act, or the way you smell when you the perfume you wear. That's wonderful, fine. let's get into depth about who you are. That's a front. Let's talk about who you are, who I am. Again, it may sound
Yes,
redundant.
I got your mouth.
It may sound redundant, but conversation, you got to talk because all the things that we're talking about, the likes and don't likes, and the mistakes and the mix ups, that's all based on non-communication and based on the thought of my head because of the way she looks or the way she acts sometimes. If you have to be with the person 24/7 to see how they are, and especially when you're dating and you're going over to the place of the person, whether they're clean or not, whether they love themselves or not, based on the things that they wear. I mean, there's a lot to take into consideration, but all of that is remedied based on conversation, not on a mental thought, not on the thought that she is, because we don't know each other. And everyone's complex, of
I'll tell
course,
you later.
but we have to come to a level to where we can have a conversation about who you are and what your expectations are. Conversations
Communication.
is important. Communication is
Communicate.
important.
Babe,
Definitely.
you got anything you want to add?
Oh, what are we talking about? Because we done strayed all the way away from his question.
Well, I mean, I think he was catching up on everything that he had missed. I think he threw everything in at one time.
Okay, because we done strayed all the way away from what he was asking.
Well,
How
Okay,
long?
so how many dates? How long you need to date?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
emotion, where emotions lie in that.
Where are we?
Okay.
Alrighty then.
We're dating. If they
Only-
smell that smell later, it'll
He
haunt
said,
them.
only wear perfumes when you're dating. If they smell that smell later, it'll haunt them. It's lovely. You are
You anyway.
I'm not dealing with you tonight. Oh,
Anyway,
get your sister.
I will not. I think the length of dating varies. Oh, I'm already only halfway in.
I got a big
The
head.
length varies depending on the development of said relationship. One relationship may not move as fast as the other. You're going to build a connection with people on different levels at different times. As far as when it becomes official, at that point, it will be you've had that conversation and you both know what you're expecting from each other at that point. Because now you've sat down and you said, we've been dating for a while. I'm ready to make this official, yes or no. Now that we've made this official, this is what I'm expecting in this relationship.
Okay. Yeah,
because at that point it's like once you do that with the one person, you can cut everybody else off. Honestly.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to happen because otherwise you have one person thinking that this is what it is, and the other person's thinking that y'all are still just a little fling or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean,
and that's when the dating turns into a courtship.
Yeah, because you have a lot of people nowadays who are like, "Hey, I thought that we were this," and the other person's like, "We never said that we were this. Like, I didn't know we put a title on it. Like, when did this happen?" And now it's like you got somebody feeling all hurt when the other person thought that y'all were still just dating, because dating for some people is dating around multiple people, still testing the waters. And I mean, that's why I'm just like,
that distinguishing factor between dating and courting. There needs to be that line because they're not the same thing.
They are not.
But also, when
dating, I'm getting to know you. Courting, I'm getting ready to marry you. They're two different things.
I mean, cut them off.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah. Where you at? Yes.
Because I feel like this. I agree with you.
But
wife. No, not but.
Okay.
Because I do not disagree with everything she said. However, feel like it's however, because I feel like the conversation should be had before we establish this relationship, because you should not go into a relationship not understanding what the other person expects from said relationship.
So are you saying that
we're gonna be together? Let's talk about it. You talk about it first, and then if you guys agree, then you're gonna be together.
So like after y'all do like a date, like, hey, then have a conversation, be like, hey, I like you, or be like, yo,
No, I'm not saying after like a date. I mean, once the connection is established, and the emotions have developed, then conversation needs to be had before assumptions are made.
Okay.
Because instead of me thinking that I'm in a relationship with you and you are thinking you are completely single, we should have a conversation because, hey, now I've developed feelings. Do you have the same sort of feelings for me? Do you think we can establish something and build something in the future? Because I see something in you that I feel like we could build with.
Okay.
No, you don't feel the same way? Cool. So now I know that I need to remove my emotions because my emotions are my responsibility, not yours. So I have to manage my own emotions. And now I need to remove my emotion. And either we continue to date and date aimlessly, which is pointless in my opinion,
Yes.
or we continue to date with a purpose and a future.
I'm
Okay.
so confused with y'all.
Why are you confused?
What?
Y'all just keep talking. I'm listening.
Well, no, I think it's the dating courting part.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
confusing to me too.
I don't know why it's confusing. I date somebody I'm trying to know. I court somebody I'm getting ready to marry. If we're courting, we're making plans. There is a plan. There's an intention. That's what courting is. It's dating with intention. Courtship is with intention.
I know what it is.
So
Where I'm confused is the fact that some people think that it's this, some people think that it's this. So it's like you have to have that conversation, but if that conversation is not had, then that's exactly how Quita just said. You have individuals where like the emotions may be in there and they're like, okay, cool. No, my emotions need to get pulled out because we're not on the same page of what it is.
And that's why we're having these conversations while we're dating.
Yes. Communication.
Exactly.
That's why we're having these
Because if you don't
conversations.
have the conversation, then you end
But
up
I'm gonna tell you,
confused.
you come at me at date 3 talking about I have these feelings for you. I'm gonna let you know that this will probably be our last date. Because we done went out to coffee and we done went to Subway into the park, and now all of a sudden
Baby, I
you're talking to
love
me
you.
about getting married. I'm gonna tell you, I tell my brothers, run. It's not that things can't happen that fast, but if I've only shared space with you 3 to 5 times, and I can't even tell you how to spell your middle name, we don't need to talk about getting married. I don't know how many siblings you have. I don't know where you grew up. I don't know how you was raised, where you were. There's so many things that have to be discussed before we can talk about doing anything else. Right? So I can see where, as far as with I almost said something else. Beauty is concerned, where things are kind of convoluted a little bit, but that's only because these young folks then added a step. Our grandparents and our parents, that whole dating piece, nah, pops wasn't going for that. They were courting. We were meeting these young men. In fact, some of the young men was brought home, or they were invited to dinner from church or whatever event that the family or dad's lodge or whatever that was. Is how we ended up in courtships, right? But nowadays they don't have that. The household structure is different. The family structure is different. Everything has been kind of tossed into the air, and these kids have been left to their own devices. Now, we were the latchkey kids, so we got to come home with a key and left to get snack or whatever on our own. And now our kids is left to figuring out everything on their own, seemingly.
Somebody burning up their dinner.
And it shouldn't have been that way. You know, I'll admit some balls were dropped. But that example thing.
All right, I'm gonna roll into closing comments. I'm gonna make sure that it's said, so in case anybody doesn't read the screen, does anybody have anything that they want to say regarding to the topics today?
Which one?
the topics today, plural.
Oh, you said topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did say plural. Um, this is good. This is really good, and I always love listening to you guys because there's so many different ages on here, so many different. I'm not even gonna say generations, but I'm gonna say generation for. I am gonna say generation. It's one thing that we forgot. Toodles kind of tapped on it. She was talking about grandparents and what they did. As far as courting was concerned, and I had to snap back to my grandmother. Um, it was different back then, and I don't know where we lost it at. Or why did we move away from it? Because those fathers back then did not allow their daughters to be exploited.
Yeah.
They were respected. Okay, you wanna hang out with my daughter? Do you plan on marrying my daughter? If not, then bye. Because she's just not gonna be a pincushion for you. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. But we've gotten away from that. And I think if we go back to some of the ways of things that we used to do to maintain that respect for a woman and as well as a woman having respect for a man, um, these relationships would work a lot longer. Marriages would work a lot longer. We're dealing with some stuff right now in the church. A lot of adultery is going on in the church, and it's with the leadership. And why? Here we are supposed to be the model for the world, and something is not right. We're doing what the world is doing, where we're supposed to be the example. We got the worst kids it is, and they've always been. Church children have always been bad, no doubt about it. But they've taken that to a different level as well. So where are we falling short at? What's really going on? We're losing respect for ourselves. Women, I mean, and I don't get this, y'all. And y'all gonna hear me say this again. Why we gotta run around in bathing suits and men run around with clothes on? We just exposing everything, but men are not doing this. And it's like the women are doing it to gain the approval of the men, and the men are like, why don't y'all put some clothes on? What is going on? What is happening to our esteem, to our dignity? And all of this plays into a relationship. It's all playing into that relationship. It's all playing into what is the material? What is the character? We really don't know anymore because there is no moral character. There is no character. You do what you do to get what you want. It's not for the good of both parties. It's all about me. I'm gonna date you today, tomorrow I'm gonna date somebody else, and we all gonna have sex. No, that's not right. Because people are getting hurt. People are being misled because you have those good children out there that was raised by those good parents as to be that model husband. Take care of your family. The man takes the first step ahead to make sure the woman's not paying for the meal. Little simple things, chivalry. That is really out the door now. It's out the door. So what's happening? What is really happening? And is it something we can fix? It needs to be fixed, but is it something that can be fixed?
Yes.
That's something we're
can be
fixable. Totally fixable.
I love that. Thank
It
you.
can be fixed. Yeah, it definitely can be fixed. What we're dealing with is fathers taken out of the home. So we have to understand the system that was set in place. When you remove fathers from the home, you took away the principle and the standard. So now young women today don't have a standard to compare to. They got the videos, they got their environment, they got their belief, they got all these different avenues of what they can do, but they don't have an actual principle and a standard in the home. When you took the standard out the home and you just left mommy to go to work and you go to school and now we trying to build something, yeah, a lot of women didn't know because a lot of women didn't understand either. So we had a breakdown in our society because we were disassociated with our own culture, the way that we actually understood family to be, to what we understood what our community to be. So we dropped the ball in that area, and that's what we picking back up now. Where we understanding what community is, we understand what relationships is, we understand that hey, I've told people, young men that came by and date my daughter, I would say, hey, the same way they leave, same way they come back. They come back fucked up, you get fucked up. Just letting you know, homie. So it was it was just a standard. They wasn't scared of a young man or nothing like that. They just let him know, hey man, she walked out. She was very beautiful when she walked out. When she walked in, she need to come back in with the same beauty. I'm gonna be up, nigga, till she get here.
Hmm.
That part.
The standard. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
do.
Unfor-
just where, you know,
Unfortunately, it's not all
fatherless
gonna go
pain was
back
a
at
thing.
once, but
No,
we
no,
working on
no,
it.
no. It don't all happen.
If
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
teach
definitely
one,
working on it.
each one teach one. I know
What are your
little Mrs. Aria here, whether daddy do it or not, grandma be sitting at the corner of the driveway in the rocking chair with the
Hmm.
shotgun.
And I'm gonna
He
be
gonna
right
get
there
it coming and
beside you.
going. He gonna get it coming and going. And that's
I'm
if
gonna be right
Zachariah
there
let
with
her
you.
out the house.
That's gonna be like Bad Boy. That's gonna be Bad Boy 2 right
So
there. The whole family gonna be strapped.
Better
What you
yet,
mean?
is
hey,
Azaria
Ride
gonna
or
let
die.
Zachariah out of the house?
That's the
you know what I'm
question.
saying?
No.
Ride.
That's the
Same.
question.
And I see that. I hear that conversation now. You ask who out? Oh no.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And here
Mm-hmm.
goes Aria going to the same spot. They going to the little milkshake shop. Azaria sitting at the table with him. I know you heard him ask you a question. You got to answer.
Yep.
Mm.
The
She
whole
be done
school
started
said you
asking.
a hoe.
Right? Azaria be
Mm-hmm.
done started
It's
asking the
a
question.
ratchet.
But
Woo!
again,
Azaria gonna be mad.
that's each one teach one. We've got to get that back into the households, and that comes
Hmm.
from either the households that are together, the households that are separate. At some point, you got to want better for your household. You know what you didn't have, so you're going to make sure that your children have that person, that guidance and direction that you were missing.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether it be the parents or the grandparents, somebody's gonna have to step up
The
because
aunties, yeah.
we can't.
Yeah.
I don't know about the aunties. Our
No,
auntie
them aunties
situation
play.
is a little corrupt.
I mean, look,
Our
I don't know if my sister's still online or not, but I can tell you this:
That's
my
back
children have
up.
great respect for their aunt. My son even said one time he thought his aunt was his mom, but the relationship with the aunts and and their nieces and nephews is they will tell them things that they don't tell you.
I agree with that sentiment, but for Zachariah and Azaria's case, I, whew,
Yeah, true that. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. True that. We leave it alone.
Tutu,
We'll talk
we gonna
offline,
have to
okay?
hold that one down, Tutu.
We'll
Woo!
talk offline.
They all be in the same spot.
Anyway,
It's just we got to. In closing, we as a society need to do better by our children. We see
Yeah.
the messed up things that have transpired. We know where it went array, and we know how to fix it. We just need to fix it. We need to do better. Period. We've got to do better. And for the aunties out there that got sisters or brothers that got kids and they just can't do it, guess what? That means you got to do better. You have got to be that
Yes.
person in that child's
Yes.
life that's going to give them the information that they
Yes.
need to act better and do better.
Yes. Indeed.
with that, we're gonna flow straight into the gratitude and what you learned. I'm gonna have you go ahead and start it off, Mrs. Sigma Uno. And then you can just
I
put
love
Mr.
y'all.
Sigma Uno on right after.
I love y'all. And together we're gonna have to do better.
Yes.
I'm eternally grateful for the platform and for those that are listening. Even if it's not your kid, you got to do better because other people's children are watching you. I can
Yes.
remember a time where I was talking as a youth. I was talking about adults that are my age now
Mm.
and all the foolishness they was into. They see that. And even if it's not the better example in their family and you're just some random person on the street, be that better person on the street that's leading by example because people are watching, children are watching, youth are paying attention. Give them something else besides the garbage they're watching on television to pay attention to. Mister?
Mm.
Muted.
You're gonna have to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Mhm.
Appreciate the platform. Always. I've learned by listening to everybody that our generations progressively became a mess. And we've also learned that we have it in us to do the right thing, teach the next generations about who they are, um, man or woman. I've also learned that if you understand yourself and you know what you want, you can be with a person that is going to be respectful and to love you if you have that type of energy or you share the same type of energy and standard like Mr. Impossible was saying. Um, Grateful for everybody because everyone's brought a perspective and respectfully had a conversation about what it's supposed to be like. And I hope we do better moving forward with children that are coming up.
Okay. Quita.
I am grateful for the opportunity to be here with everybody and discuss openly um, a topic that a lot of people shy away from. Um,
Oh.
I I have learned through discussion that a lot of people, or I shouldn't say a lot of people. I'm gonna speak for self. Um, in order to be a better person, not just have wifely material criteria. I have to learn myself, have standards, and set boundaries for myself. And I appreciate the open discussion and honesty from everybody tonight.
Respect. Yudi.
I am grateful for the opportunity to be on your panel. Um, it is with great pleasure to sit here and listen to how you moderate and do what you do. You really fall into that epitome of wanting to help. You're surrounded by a multitude, the Bible will call it a cloud, and with a lot of knowledge, a lot of inspiration, encouragement, wisdom that I honestly feel will make a change in somebody's life. One person a day. I honestly believe that. Everybody on this line is a helper by profession or by calling. Definitely helpers.
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure.
I'm grateful to be here because it just shows me that God has his little remnants all over the world. Yeah, it's gonna make a change.
Totally.
We're not giving up. We're not giving in
Oh, hell no.
because there's some hurting folk out here in this world, and they need people that care, and we care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Y'all pass the plate.
Amen. 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 Peace
Mr.
and light.
Impossible.
Peace and light. Yeah, I just want to say again, thank you again for inviting me to your platform. I really appreciate it. I always love coming on, man, to share. And anytime I can do that, I'm always willing to do that. And again, what I've learned today that everybody have very dynamic vantage points when it comes to material, wife material, family, what I think relationships should be about, how they should be founded. And as I stated, for me, it's principle and value. If you live in principle and value, you're gonna develop the relationship you really desire because you're doing it off of intention, principle, and value. You're gonna take the right action. So I learned through the long way, that principle stands a great deal to add value into your life. Because without it, you're going on memory, thought, and ideal in your environment. And your environment tell you to do all kind of foolish stuff in order for you to go quote unquote be happy. So what I've learned is be happy with yourself, love yourself, honor yourself, have reverence for others, and everything will be all right. Because love is here. It's all it is. It's just love.
Facts on facts. Boom. What you got, babe?
Oh.
Gratitude and what you learned.
I am grateful for family involvement because I love y'all. And y'all love my so that's what I'm grateful for. What I learned is we've acknowledged the issue and we have the tools to fix it.
Hello.
And it's
Right.
possible to fix. And it doesn't necessarily mean going backwards.
Not at all.
That's what I got.
For me,
Love it.
I am grateful. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start with what I learned because my gratitude is gonna stretch. What I learned today was a couple things. I'm gonna pick one. What I learned today was there are individuals who are confused on what it even means to be in a relationship or what to even look for, what longevity of a relationship even looks like. So I mean, that is kind of disheartening due to the fact that with me, granted, I had an idea, I had got married, realized that's not what I had wanted, and then I had to do what she said. Granted, I'm not
Listen to your mama.
I had to. I know I should have listened to my mama. I should have listened to my mama. Should have listened to my auntie. Like, yeah, everybody said don't do it. I was like, but the money.
He said,
give me my money. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
I know. I pretty much did say I'm gonna see for myself, but I was a defiant individual. Learned that being in a right relationship is not something that just comes to you. That is something that you have to put in. You have to put in a lot of work on yourself before you try and put work into a relationship. Because at the end of the day, you can do as much as you want for the relationship, but you also can possibly lose yourself. You need to make sure that you are where you want to be with yourself before you try getting into something with somebody else. And for my gratitude, I just want to say thank you to this beautiful creature over here. And also thank you to Quita, because for the longest time I've been trying to get her to be in the podcast with me. She was always very shy, but I mean, I'm grateful to see her coming out of her shell. And then with Quita, she was the same way. So I mean, I'm grateful to see these people with so much insight sharing that with the world, because they have a wealth of knowledge. Like, I talk with them often. I talk with her often, and then I mess with Quita when I go to the job. So I mean, with that, having them on here and watching how they are starting to come out of their shell, that brings me gratitude. That makes me happy. I am thankful for everybody who jumps onto the platform, because in all honesty, like I always say, I'm like, this would not be possible without y'all. I mean, I have a lot of words that I can say, but all of our viewpoints are not the same. So hearing different viewpoints on things, hearing others' opinions, it makes me think about some things that I know, and also teaches me things that I don't know. So I'm very grateful for y'all. And with that, I'm going to start flowing into Thank everybody. Do me a favor.
What?
Thank y'all.
You were really cutting out.